Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are here with Feet Planted LLC. That's right. The owner, Karrin Mayfield Felton, joining us is joining us here live today to talk more about the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, the STEM students, and how she's helping early career professionals with the tools that they need to excel. Welcome back to the show today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much, Jill. Happy to be back.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about Feet Planted for those new timers out there. I want to offer them the chance to also go to the website. I could tell them that part. It's feetplantedllc.com. And you're based out of Stafford, Virginia. Would you mind sharing the types of people that you're helping and working with?
Wonderful. So at the root of my company, I am here to help students and early career professionals thrive in their career pursuits, specifically STEM, as well as life. And so that is what my company does. I'm a 20 plus year professional, chemical engineering master's. I've worked for industry. I've worked for public and private industry. So I've had a lifetime almost of achievement as well as blunders and mistakes. And so one of the key tenets of my company is that I'm here to give you the benefit of my experience. I'm here, Feet Planet is here also to create community so that you're not walking this walk alone in your career and life journey. And we also want to build, develop, and give resources to emerging leaders that are going to not just innovate, but are going to be brave, and that they're going to lean forward in ways that are new and exciting and shake some tables. And we're here to support all of that.
Perfect. Thank you for being here. And the services that you provide range from, how would you say, by the way, and you're not just in Virginia, you're helping those all over, correct?
I am, because we're out of COVID, so to speak. I have been virtual, started my business in 2021. So my reach was beyond my geographical location. And so I'm accessible and available to all those who may be in need of my services.
Perfect. And competency, technical proficiency, workplace authenticity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, workshops, you name it, navigation. She's here helping you. Feetplantedllc.com. Also, she does speaking engagements as well. And check out some of her testimonials there on the website too. So for today, what did you have in mind for us?
Well, today I wanted to talk and dive into what it means to be curious. And some would say, well, of course I'm curious. I ask a lot of questions. And we tend to do that when we are in a deficit of information, or when we are trying to bridge the gap from where we are right now to where we want to be. I want us to look at it a little differently and go just slightly deeper. My two words for 2024 are to be curious, not just in the work that I do, but when it comes to people. I believe that some of the challenges that face those coming behind us that are in college or working right now to get that those skill sets for STEM is that there's not necessarily enough curiosity when it comes to how we collaborate. And here's why it's important. I have a full-time job, but I'm also in conversation and community with a variety of different people with different backgrounds, different thought patterns, folks who have different value systems than me. And in any given situation, we are required to either meet a mission, we're required to solve a problem, we're required to oftentimes represent the needs of others in certain situations, depending on what your career arc is. And so being curious basically says, I need to know more. I'm not going to take what you said at face value. I'm actually going to lean forward and ask you to tell me a little bit more about that so that I can make sure I'm on the same page with you, and to invite you to be vulnerable with me as we talk about this thing, this topic, this initiative. And I just want to help people with that, especially my young people.
Yay. How young is young, by the way? What ages?
I say high school. And the reason that I hesitate with that is because I avail myself to anyone really. And I am asked often to talk to folks in elementary school to like get that spark energized, to be exciting and let them know it's possible. I also want to help our young people in high school and in college really understand critical thinking as it relates to being curious, because COVID did a number on a lot of systems. Some
Yep.
systems were already cracking, and then
Mm-hmm.
COVID just completely, tore some things apart. And so, not just to help them in their pursuit of a STEM field, but give them fundamentals on how to really ask questions and be willing to sit in the unknown, be willing to be uncomfortable with the answers, because there's another fallacy, myth, I'll say, that when you ask a question, you think that you might get an answer. Some people may
Mm-hmm.
not. They may not be ready to tell you the full truth. They may not be willing to go
Yeah.
deeper in conversation with you. And so it's not just the asking, it's the being prepared for what ensues afterwards, and understanding that you have some choices to make in the information gathering and especially in the listening. It's a partnership. And when we can do those things well, you could take that skill to any job, to any environment, and be a thought leader and be known as someone not just technically strong, but someone willing to have the hard conversations.
And that's you. I was also reading on the website before you, I guess when you blog, it was how to be real extra with school activities. You said parents don't get mad at me. What's that
Yeah.
about, by the way? Is that one of
So
the
yeah, that's one of those
the
things
YouTube
about
shows? Yeah.
yeah. So parents, I know you're busy and I know you have a lot going
hmm
on. And when you are pursuing a technical career, you got to take all the classes. You're going to take as many classes as you can. Expose yourself to the AP, whatever it's called in your state and your district, the higher level classes that you might experience when you go to college, if that is your plan. What we often forget is that you can have fun too. So the extracurricular activity could be band, it could be chorus, because sometimes we forget about those other skills that just make us unique. I had the choice in high school, true story, to take typing or to take chorus. Well, I chose to take chorus because I can legit sing. I come from parents that can sing, and I wanted to build that muscle too. Taught me how to breathe, taught me how to take direction, and I learned a lot about myself. Now, it wasn't math, it wasn't chemistry, it wasn't science, but it was extracurricular. It required me to do more in another area and work with people that I wasn't necessarily in my classes with. It just opens the aperture for you to not only learn something new about yourself, but by golly, learn something new about other people. And I think we get pigeonholed in our cliques and in our groups. And when you're on this track, I have to do this. And sometimes we forget that the detours, especially the fun ones that challenge us, are extra, and they're extra for a reason. And we can do those too.
Thank you so much. At this time, let's remind everyone how we can get in touch with you. Could you share all your info?
I would love to. I can be reached, as you've already heard at the top, at feetplantedllc.com on the homepage. And at the top of the homepage, you will see the social media handles. I do respond to inquiries through social media as well. I also have an email address that I hope you send serious inquiries to, and that is Karrin.Felton at feetplantedllc.com. My name is spelled Karrin dot Felton at feetplanted.com, and I would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What else did you want your listeners to be aware of today? Any stories you're going to share? I'm
Oh,
all ears.
oh my goodness. I was talking to a colleague of mine today, and I shared a story about how I was not the greatest employee. And so one of the things that I love about being transparent when I talk to my mentees, talk to high school students, is that they see someone that has this great job, business, degrees, and somehow you all think that we woke up like that. I did not. I did not wake up with all those accolades and
Okay, okay.
with all of those things. it took some maturity. And so I like
Yep.
telling stories about how I had a job that I was selected for by a person that I admired greatly. She was also a fellow Kimmy. And when I got in the job, I was not accustomed to working shifts. And the
Mm-hmm.
sleep deprivation and challenges was just, whew, it threw me. In addition to not being able to handle that as well as I thought, I didn't take the time to learn the job.
Yep.
Like you come into a position learning the job, which means not just what's required, but learning the people, understanding how things work, understanding who to go to, and building those relationships such that when you do have questions, you know who to go to. I didn't quite lay the foundation in those areas. So if you mix not being on solid footing with working rotating shifts and
Mm-hmm.
having sleep challenges, bad cocktail, very, very bad cocktail. So I wasn't successful. And more
Mm-hmm.
importantly, I let my leadership down who recruited me. And so I tell that story because preparation is really important. It's the little things that we don't do. It's the habits of how we go about our day that once you get in a groove of, oh, I don't have to do that, or oh, I
Yep.
don't need to do that, you start to get comfortable and then life happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we fail. That's when we stumble. But I'm here as proof to let you know that you can pick yourself back up again. And I think stories like that from all of us, regardless of the field you're in, but specifically the STEM field is important. One, because it's hard, and two, you're going to struggle. And I'm just here to let you know that it wasn't easy, but I learned from that. And I would love to tell you, I learned from it right after the fact. It took me a few more years to get it, but I'm glad I did and I didn't stop. And neither should you.
Ah, good story. See, we are wiser, older, more experienced, right? And we have that ability to understand. See, not everything was always perfect for you. You're not always, and I love
Oh,
hearing that because it's true for
no.
everyone. But some adults that lead children like to pretend everything they did it right. No, we're honest. We make mistakes and we admit that, and that's part of learning, right?
It definitely is. And being willing to share. So, speaking to those who are in proximity to students and early career professionals and those who you see aren't doing it exactly right, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to let them know that you weren't always the well put together, suave person that you are. One, it's
Mm-hmm.
humbling. It reminds us to be grateful and it
So
allows
true.
people to be vulnerable with you so that you can teach them and mentor them from a place of humility.
Oh, beautiful. And by the way, as a speaker, do you have any events coming up in 2024? I know you were pretty busy over the years. I was reading some of the speaking engagements that you've done. Pretty impressive.
Well, thank you for that. I am definitely going to be speaking in the month of March. I also have a platform where I purpose to go live. So, depending on when you watch this, there will be a live video coming out about scholarships and my top three
Ah,
tips on how to excel on your scholarships. It is not going to be easy to do, but it's definitely important. And so you can definitely find me there. I am in the summertime going to unveil my new Show Up Masterclass. It may be titled differently, but
yeah.
I definitely am looking forward. That's one-on-one time with me, along with a module that you can follow that's going to help you no matter what direction you're going into, help you really get some fundamentals and teach you the ropes of how to navigate this world of adulthood that we live in and your career. It's going to be awesome.
Yay. And if you are just tuning in, feetplantedllc.com. We are here with our friend Karrin talking about the work she's doing and also active on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, also X. Do I call it X now? Yeah, I guess I call it
I don't
X.
know what to
I'm
call it.
so mad that I used to type in Twitter on my phone to find the app, and now it doesn't work. As of like
No,
after it started, it was X, was Twitter for a while. Now it's gone. Now it's just X, and I'm like, I just don't feel like
yes,
it's X
X.
still. I just
Yeah,
don't. But all right, all right, all
yeah.
right.
Interesting times, Jill. Interesting times.
Yep, yep, yep. I saw something that was coming up in March, on your
Yes.
Instagram. Is that the one you were just mentioning?
Yes, it is. So in my home area of Stafford, Virginia, I love partnerships, which is also another area that I really think I want to talk to our youth about, especially those who are endeavoring to own your own businesses one day. I am partnering with Germanna Community College. I would give you a location, but they're located in 5 areas: Fredericksburg, Stafford, Rutherford Glen, Culpeper, all areas in Virginia. And we are going to be working together to commemorate and
Wow.
celebrate Women's History Month. The details for that are still in the works. They are going to be coming out soon, but I will be kicking off that event the first Monday in March it'll be virtual, and there will be other women coming the Mondays after. And then they're having a diversity event that's going to be really awesome to culminate the work that they're doing at the end of the month. So stay tuned. It'll be on my social media platforms, obviously, as well as Google Germanna Community College. You'll be able to see that information in the next week or so.
Awesome. And what else did you want to add for us today, Karrin? I know we are halfway through the show and there's still so much that we could talk about.
I know. So I spend a good portion of my time working on me. I mean, it's no secret, I do have a full-time job. I also am a wife. I am a mother. And so my plate is full, but I love it. One of the things that I am in conversation now about is how we as women are in interesting times when it comes to trying to move the needle in our careers, in our well-being. I am very, very much interested in mental health. I'm interested in the stories that we tell ourselves. I'm interested in how we are in environments that don't necessarily know what to do with all of the awesomeness that we bring. And so if you are not in community with a woman or someone that is an ally to women to kind of talk to and share your experiences with, good, bad, and all of the above and below, then I encourage you to do so. So if you look at my website and look at how I describe myself in my bio, you'll see that I call myself a STEMinist. And I received an award at the Women of Color in
Oh,
STEM conference in 2017. Very honored to have received that award. And it was a beautiful conference, happens every October. The point is that I was surrounded by women of every nationality, ethnicity, in every field that you can imagine. And as a woman, when you are in the STEM space and you've been in places where you are one of or a few of, you really just stand in awe. It's just like all this awesomeness in the room. Oh my gosh, if I could bottle that and take it with me and keep it in my pocket. And then those days that I'm frustrated because there's some issues happening with diversity, I can pull that out and just surround myself with the good vibes. Or if there's a moment where I need clarity, I need to understand if this is an issue with me as Karrin, or if I just need to educate you, and then open that bottle up and then find the words of all the wisdom. And so I said, you know what? I need community. And so on LinkedIn is another area where you can find me. I surround myself with strangers and colleagues from different fields, because what we have in common is that we have a voice. We want to be seen and we want to be heard. And there are some environments that do not show up for us. And we need to talk about what to do when those things happen, not just so we can prosper, but we've got young eyes looking up at us. I call it I see future me. I've said that before. And so we need to not only make sure that we're good, we need to make sure that we're helping others, that we're mentoring others, that there's no crab in the barrel mentality. There's no competition among us. I don't care what field you're in, that we are all sisters, that we're all women working toward a common goal in different ways, and that we need to start acting it out. We need to start championing each other, and we need to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work of helping our allies and those who are in perceived power understand that we're coming. And whether you like it or not, we're coming with excellence, and be ready. And then infuse those coming behind us with that same energy and that same enthusiasm that they too can change the world. And I love it. And if you are a woman that is about that, please reach out to me, because I would love to get to know you. I would love to be in community and help and support you in what you're doing, because that's what it's about. We all need each other. And because I'm a woman, I lean heavy in that area. So I don't
Mhm.
forget about the men, but I can only speak from the perspective that I have. And I know that there are women out there who are saying, it may be listening, man, I wish I had that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you do. And
Mhm.
so join us and let's get together to do the work that's going to take us all forward.
Perfect. Well, we still got 5 more minutes left in your show. I'm not cutting you short. Um,
Awesome.
did you want to share some other stories? It was great. I know the one you just shared about today, but any other, whether it's females, males, children, the fact that you're inspiring so many to be in this field, which, well, was and probably still is a more of a male-dominated field, right?
Yes, it definitely is more of a male-dominated field. You can look up National Science Foundation if you endeavor. We are Googlers. We are in the Google time of our lives, and so you will see free reports that talk about the movement of STEM and the efforts for bridging the gaps in underserved and underrepresented communities. You'll see data on how the Hispanic community has increased in some areas and how we're still trying to
Mm-hmm.
encourage girls to pursue STEM so that we can not just open the aperture but create pipelines. And so that's another topic that is very near and dear to my heart. I've been very fortunate in my career to be in a leadership position and to also support initiatives that create pipelines, STEM pipelines. Let's just be clear, folks. We didn't get here because people were afraid of innovation,
No.
but there's so much further that we can go. There's so much more we can do. And there's untapped markets of people that are not being reached, that we just have to continue to do the work. I'm very inspired by a lot of the colleagues that I have on LinkedIn. I won't call any names because I'll leave out someone, but there's so many initiatives that people are doing, and they are really doing the work to make sure everyone has access to STEM and STEM tools and kits, despite what zip codes you may live in. And I'll make an appeal right now. If you are a company or an organization and you've got deep pockets, stroll through LinkedIn, do a search for grassroots organizations in your community, reach out to some folks that will be able to point you in the direction of, I think that there's some work that can be done here.
Yep.
And lend a hand, more importantly, lend your money, lend your resources. I think there's a role to play for everyone. I'm definitely trying to play the best role that I can with the resources that I have. And so what I will leave with the audience is, once we decide to make a commitment with our dollars and a commitment with our resources to bridge gaps that exist and to elevate the education and the access of others who may not have it, everybody wins. So let's get
Oh,
to it.
all right. Thank you so much. And if someone does want to reach out to you, how does the process work?
The process works like this. First and foremost, make sure you understand what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
www.feetplantedllc.com. These aren't just words on a page. This is my heart. This is who I am. Check me out on social media. So if you're still not sure, you can see my posts, you can see what I talk about. And then if you are interested in partnering with me, wanting me to come speak, wanting me to come work with you, Karrin, Karrin, Felton, Felton, at feetplantedllc.com. And that's my email address. I would love to hear from you.
Yay. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
again, you're worldwide, right? Working with people.
Yes, working
And
with people all over.
oh my goodness. And it's exciting. It's clearly you're passionate about what you do. And just a little of your
Mhm.
background for new timers tuning in today. Would you mind
Sure.
just sharing that? Thank you.
I would love to. I would love to. So I'm going to start from the womb. I am the middle child.
Yep.
I'm sandwiched between two other STEM professionals. I come from parenting that they were educators. And so instilled in me some tough love. The standards were real high in my household. So my sisters and I just really hit the ground running. And so we were able to be curious and learn and ran into some snags from at an early age of being weird, being called nerdy, talking different. Why are you so studious? So I grew up as that kid. So if you're out there and people don't seem to get you, you are in the best of company. And so what that did was it made me curious. I then got an itch for discovery, problem solving, taking stuff apart, trying to put it back together. And I ultimately found a love for chemistry, which led me to pursue chemical engineering in my education. And from there, I worked for a variety of companies, had some really great internships, matured, grew. I was mentored. I was put in tough situations so that I could be the problem solver and the visionary that I am now. That's my story.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much. Always a pleasure having you here, and have a fantastic weekend.
You
And don't forget
too.
feetplantedllc.com. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll be back soon. Hopefully we'll get to chat again.
Yes, we will. Let me help you plant your feet.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day and an even better weekend.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.